OnePlus have just released this, the Watch Lite. It's like a slimmer, more affordable version of the fantastic Watch 3 which I've been using, but it has one major trick up its sleeve. This isn't just another Android-only watch. This one works with iPhones as well. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Carl. I'm not some trendy tech YouTuber. I'm a very busy dad of young kids with a full-time job. I love tech, but I'm not that interested in the numbers or the tech specs. I'm interested in how it would actually slot into your life and the features you're going to actually use day to day. So I've been using the new Watch Lite since it arrived on Friday. Ben from Lover of Tech has kindly let me use his review unit for the launch, so I've had it on my wrist all weekend, and it's now Monday as I'm filming this. So it is very early days, but it's safe to say, so far, I am hugely impressed. Let's start with the big new feature. It works with both iPhones and Android phones now, which is a huge deal. I love the OnePlus Watch 3, but it's based on Wear OS, and so it works amazingly well with Android phones, but only Android phones. The new Watch Lite, though, doesn't use Wear OS. OnePlus seem to have built their own operating system instead. It's definitely similar, so it does feel very familiar to the Watch 3, but it is definitely different. You can still choose the watch faces in the same way as before. You can press the crown down to get all of your apps. The bottom button isn't a button anymore though, it's just a sensor for when you do the 60-second health scan. And when you're on the main watch face, now you swipe to the left and you get a customizable list of, well, widgets, I guess, of the utility style apps. But then you swipe right from the watch face and you get to all the health tracking parts, your activity, then your sleep, your wellness score, your heart rate, and finally their 60-second check-in. Plus you can add a few more or change these about by holding on any of them to customize their order. All of this is differently laid out to on the Watch 3, but with a very similar design. I think I prefer this version. And of course, I can now pair it to my iPhone, which seems to work seamlessly. It syncs well, notifications come through quickly, phone calls, music control, it all works. Now it's not Apple Watch level of integrated, of course, but it definitely feels better, I would say, than the Fitbit, which I've been used to using. There are a couple of bugs though I've noticed. Firstly, I can't seem to get it to pair to both an Android phone and my iPhone simultaneously, which OnePlus are making a big deal about it being able to do. For me at the moment, it seems to be just one or the other. And there's still a few areas where the language is Chinese still. The location in the weather app is probably the most noticeable, but it's also at the top of the iOS app when a device is connected. I'm sure both of those will just be pre-release bugs though. I'm sure they'll get sorted pretty quickly, but I thought I'd mention them. I also noticed that the data migrate feature hasn't made it to the iPhone app yet. On Android phones, when you move from one phone to the other, you can actually really easily move the data across by scanning a QR code, and it all does it within the app. The iPhone version of the app, though, doesn't seem to have that option, sadly, right now. Physically, it all feels very similar to the Watch 3, but being true to the name, it's much lighter and lower profile. I still think it feels closer to a classic style of watch than most other smartwatches, which go for a bit of a more minimal modern feel. But I think this new design is going to appeal to a lot more people than the Watch 3 actually does. Although personally, I love the Watch 3. Lots of people I've shown it to have commented on how chunky it looks. The display is 1.46 inches here, and it's AMOLED as well, with a peak brightness in sports mode of 3000 nits. Although for everyday use, it sits about 600 nits in sunlight. It's a great looking display though. Everything is rich and sharp, and it's incredibly responsive. It's impact and scratch resistant glass, and it's IP68 rated, so you don't need to be afraid of getting it wet. Plus they have this new AquaTouch technology, so when it's wet and you have wet hands, the touchscreen is still usable. Physically, the whole watch feels very well made. Despite being an affordable smartwatch, it definitely feels like a premium product to me, not an affordable alternative. Despite being so much thinner now, it still seems to be very impressive in terms of battery life. Now, OnePlus say 10 days of typical use, and obviously I have an had the watch for that long yet. But I charged it once when I first got it, and I haven't had to charge it again so far. I've got the always on display on, which OnePlus actually tell you when you enable it, it's going to shorten your battery life by about 3 days, sometimes more. Plus, I'm using a watch face with a middle score of 2 for power consumption. If you haven't seen this before, they actually rate each watch face with a score of 1, 2, or 3 for how power hungry each one is, which is such a nice, helpful touch. So I charged it up to full on Friday, and I put it on my wrist at about 4:30 p.m. On Saturday morning, after its first night, it was on 88%. Sunday morning, it was 66%. And now at about midday on Monday, when I'm filming this, it's sitting about 35%. So in that rate, I'd probably be on track for about 4 days, maybe closer to 5. So without the always on display and with a watch face with a score of 1, it might well make it close to that claimed 10-day of use. One of the reasons it's able to do this is their hibernate mode. At night, when it's tracking your sleep, it goes into hibernate, where it just tracks you and shows you the time, locks off all other parts of the watch. To use the watch like normal, it has to then reboot and turn back on, which just takes a minute or so. I think this is really clever. It's a trade-off personally I am more than happy to make in order to get that longer battery life. And even though I'm up in the night quite a bit because of the kids, it just doesn't bother me at all. Overall, my first impressions of the OnePlus Watch Lite are insanely high. I mean, I did love the OnePlus Watch 3 and I still do, but this is thinner, lighter, and it works with my iPhone. And it still has basically everything that I love about the Watch 3. It's got the long battery life, the accurate sleep tracking, the wellness score. I normally try and make sure these videos are a bit of a mixture of positive and negative comments, but to be honest, I'm really struggling to find anything bad to say about the Watch Lite. I mean, it's early days, of course, but I think I've just found myself a new favorite smartwatch. I'll do an update video though if the honeymoon period wears off and I find things that I don't like. But for now, let's just leave it at that, shall we? I need to go and hoover the stairs, but thank you very much for watching.